Did you know that scuba divers roll backwards out of boats? Because if they rolled forwards, they'd just be in the boat. So we finally got all of the reveals. I'm quite sick today, feeling like garbage, but I wanted to get my Daily Leagues video up, so here we are. If you enjoy the Daily Leagues content, hit this, don't even hit it, smash the like button. Drop a subscription. I'm going to be posting Daily Leagues videos as long as I can, unless COVID takes me in the night tonight. We finally got everything. All relics finally revealed. I'm going to go through these relics, okay? I'm going to give some use case scenarios for each relic, some pros and cons, and then we're going to jump into looking at everything. All relics, and I've got a couple of different builds. I've got a skiller build, I've got a PVM build, and I've got like a balance build. So 3 different builds for you to choose from if you want someone to tell you what to pick. And I'll give thoughts behind all of that. So check out the timestamps if you want to do that, and let's get to it. So there was a big live stream today, and they went through all of the current reveals, and then they got to the final reveals where they showed us 5 new relics. I was expecting maybe 2. I was expecting maybe a big twist, but they added a full new tier of relics. We had 7, and now we've got 8. The first thing they showed us though was equilibrium, which is like not that exciting. Because we've seen it before and there's nothing changed to it. So equilibrium is every time you gain XP, you gain additional XP equal to 10% of your total level in that same skill. And then it's also multiplied by the league's XP multiplier, and um, it is not. It is not multiplied. Sorry, slip of the tongue. So you get 200 XP if you have 2,000 total level. If it's your lowest skill, you will get 400 XP. That's if you have 2K total. If you've got 1,000 total by the time you take this, well, you're going to get 100 XP if it's not your lowest level, and you'll get 200 if it is your lowest level. This does stack with Production Master, which we will show very shortly here, but that's pretty much what it is. More XP speeds up some of your skilling grinds, speeds up maxing, but in essence, it only speeds it up to 20%. There are some specific things that it creates new methods for training different skills. I believe you can buy limestone bricks and like chisel them, and instead of getting 1 XP, you get that 200 XP based on your total level. So that's like a huge increase to little things like that. But yeah, it's just kind of interesting. This is one that I did not see coming. This is called Pocket Kingdom. It's a very cool idea. You get an item in your inventory that allows you to manage miscellanea from anywhere. If you don't know what miscellanea is, or managing miscellanea, it's something that gets you passive resources daily. Every 24 hours, you have like your kingdom will gather you a couple of different things based on what you want them to gather. So if you want them to gather fish and seeds, they will do that. If you want them to gather logs and ore, they will do that. Some of the items that you can expect to get from this, for example, this is a all in on mahogany and half in on seeds setup. The big difference here, so like you get a lot of these things. You could change it up and go for coal and different. I don't know. You could go for teak logs instead of mahogany. So there's benefits and downsides to all of them. But just getting free resources. If you're a skiller, this is a nice one to do. If you're a PVMer and you don't want to do any skilling but want to get all the resources you need to do everything, then this could also work well. There's a bit of overlap with some of the other relics, so if you pick this one, don't pick Overgrown, for example, because you're just doubling up on the same thing, kind of. But yeah, it's pretty cool. There's other benefits, like you get it for 50% less coins, so 375k per hour, and it will take 10% of that. So you need a bit of cash to upkeep it. Shouldn't be that bad because it's a high tier relic. You'll have cash at that point. And it happens every hour instead of every day for the resources. So you get a lot of just passive stuff coming in from that. Here's our clue scroll relic. We always have sort of a clue scroll relic every league, and it's always a lot of fun. If you like clues, you like that dopamine of opening clues, stuff like that. So any impling jars or creatures that drop clues will now drop them at 1 in 15 rate. So clue geodes, clue nests, and clue bottles will also be 10 times more often. All clues will have the lowest number of steps possible for their tier. And then all of your emote, Phalo, and Charlie clue steps don't have any item requirements anymore. So the synergy, the obvious synergy of the clue Arbiter is to pick clue compass as your teleport tier. But you're going to get a lot of clues done. You could get the Bloodhound maybe. But one thing to note was it was said on the reveal live stream that there are not as many points in clues this league. Last league, it was just by far the meta to pick the clue one for points specifically, because it was like there were tasks for get 1 collection slot, get 5 collection slots, get 10 collection slots, and then also it was like get 1 hard clue unique, get 5 hard clue uniques, get 10 hard, and it was just like so many. Like every time you open a clue, you were getting 2 or 3 uniques, so you got a lot of points last league. They said it scaled back a bit. I don't think it makes it so that this isn't like this could still be the meta for points, but it definitely removes the huge head start on the other relics in that tier. Speaking of which, moving on to Production Master. So what does Production Master do? If you've played leagues before, you know. It smelts ore, smith bars, makes cannonballs, fletches logs, strings bows, makes arrow shafts, cuts. Any production skills that you do, it will do all of it at once. If you have chisel and 27 rubies, it will chisel all 27 rubies in one tick immediately. So it speeds up production skills by upwards of 27 times faster, which is very good. It is very good. I picked this relic last league and I loved it. It was a lot of fun. Now, if you have some AFK time, maybe you work from home or something like that, you don't necessarily need this. This will speed up crafting. It will speed up smithing. Smithing is not the easiest skill to do, so it'll speed up crafting, which is a very fast skill. It will speed up fletching, which is a very fast skill, and 0 time if you're doing like arrow tips or bolt tips or whatever while waiting for bosses to respawn. It cooks food instantly, but if you're taking Animal Wrangler, then you don't need to worry about that. Just things like that. It's very strong, don't get me wrong, but you got to think, is it the best for the build that you're going for? Because there could be something better in your tier. So Slayer Master, this is saving the best for last. This is insane. This is an insane relic. This is basically a combat relic. Always on task for eligible Slayer monsters. So reading through the Discord with the JMod replies, they say, like, if the monster you're fighting is, if it's possible to have that as a Slayer task, then it will count you as being on task. Essentially, like, picture you have a Slayer helm and you right click check the Slayer helm, like, what's my task? It'll say you're assigned to kill an unlimited amount of every boss and every monster in the game. Don't get me wrong, don't twist my words here. Bosses are on the table for this. So if you have like an Araxor or something like that boss that you want to fight, this counts. Picture Jad. You can get a Jad task like unlimited. You can get a Zuck task unlimited. And the Slayer Helm works. It will buff your stats by like 15-16% in all of your combat stats, mage, range, and melee. You just need to imbue it at Soul Wars, or if you have Kandarin, you can do it at Nightmare Zone. But like, don't pick Kandarin, please. So you also get a rune pouch, herb sack, and looting bag, all for free. You can skip and block tasks for free. There's no point because everything's on task anyways. And then you'll get a huge chunk of bonus XP for the first time you kill the 100th of each unique Slayer monster. And that scales by the monster Slayer level. So you'll get 15k XP the first time you kill your 100th Abyssal Demon, basically. It might be like 13k XP. And then that multiplies by the XP that you get, the XP modifier. So let's say you get 13k from an Abyssal Demon. I'm just guessing. It'll be close to the top. And then you multiply that by 16. You're getting just a big chunk of bonus XP there, which is quite something. If you're able to do Zuck and you're doing Zuck tasks, you're getting 1.6 mil Slayer XP per task anyways. And now you don't need to get a task for it. You're just automatically on task. So this speeds up all combat, just flat right across the board. Your DPS increases. Now this doesn't work on things like Olm or Verzik, but it could work for things like in Chambers of Zarek. Shamans, Mystics count as a task, and you'll get XP for it too. And they also mentioned if you're killing something in the wilderness that's like on a task, you will get Laren's keys from it, even if you have a task or not. You will get superior spawning at a rate of 150 regardless, if you're on task or not. Because again, you're basically just on task for literally everything in the game all at once. Insane, insane relic. We're going to jump over to, these are all of our tiers. So we knew about our tier 1, we knew about our tier 2, we knew about our tier 3, and we knew most of tier 4. So they've added Equilibrium to tier 4. So your choice now is, do you want Golden God, which gives you unlimited money, 99 Mage for free, and 99 Prayer for free, essentially. A couple of steps in there. But it auto alks everything for you, and then you can use your money on an altar for prayer XP. This also, the cash that you get from this, you can spend on things like gems in stores. It automatically notes whatever you're buying. It's very, very good to get your leagues points up early, and then after a while, you will no longer need to use this relic at all, and you like literally won't use it at that point. So if you're playing to get to the end game fast and then enjoy it while you're there, this could be really good. If you want to get max stats and you don't know how you're going to train smithing, for example, now there's Giant's Foundry and there's a couple other places that you can train smithing fast in the Fremnik region as well, Blast Furnace. So if you don't have any options for training smithing, last one, Prif, you can make like crystal keys, which gives XP. You can make crystal armor, which gives smithing XP. You can kill Volcano for bars. If you're not picking one of those three regions, or any of them, I should say, then it might be best to pick Reloaded and go for the Power Miner on top of Animal Wrangler, something like that. If you want Reloaded because you don't want to touch agility, but you want all of your tasks done, then you can take Corner Cutter and Dodgy Deals. If you are worried about how are you going to get your herbs and you refuse to do farm runs, then you can go for a Friendly Forager with something else like Dodgy Deals or whatever else. Again, Friendly Forager will give you 650 plus herbs per hour if you're actively foraging for stuff. So if you're fishing or mining or woodcutting. Yeah, Equilibrium. It's just XP buff. If you want more XP, it'll speed up some of your tasks, stuff like that. Pick that one. For this tier, for me specifically, Production Master, I've taken it every time. It is very good. And it's now comes down to, do I care if my crafting grind is slower? No, I don't. I will AFK craft. I don't mind. Just like any production skills, they're so fast anyways that I'm not going to take Production Master, even though it is extremely powerful. Now this one I'm not sure, because I do want to do a lot of AFK Karambwans, and by doing that you will gather a lot of clue scrolls, like a lot of clue scrolls. And then when you take Clue Compass, you can do clue scrolls instantly, get a lot of points done. And it, clues give you alkables and money and different things like that, and fashion, and the game's all about fashion. So to me, it's between Treasure and Slayer Master. It's just Slayer Master's so good. We need to keep in mind you already get 75 points every time you complete a task, so it might not matter. You get that 15% bonus to combat XP on everything, but it doesn't affect raids. So if you're just doing raids, then maybe this isn't the best one for you. Maybe you're better off taking the Treasure Arbiter for points. Maybe if you're a raider guy, you just want to be able to process all the goods you get from raids immediately. Big choice there. Big choice between those three. Okay, Banker's Note or Total Recall. Banker's Note is universally more useful. Total Recall is better in certain scenarios and useless in other scenarios. So it's a big choice. It depends on your play style. If you think like this will be fun to use, Total Recall is fun to use, Banker's Note is just good everywhere, including in instances. This does not work in instances. So big choice there. Pocket Kingdom compared to Grimoire and Overgrown. Now, one thing that Mod Arcane mentioned on the live stream today is that Grimoire is not as good as people think. Picture this. If you are already getting 45 DPS, damage per second, against a boss, and you take Piety, it will speed your DPS up. It'll go to like 47, 48. I should check the numbers on that, but it goes up a bit if you have Piety compared to Ultimate Strength. You're saving seconds off of a boss fight. Now that could, over 2 months of doing combat, those numbers matter. If you want to see the biggest hits possible and you want to always be MVP, then you're taking Grimoire because it gives you all those prayers. But if you want to go for like a balanced approach and you're hoping to get some other stuff like unlimited resources from that or unlimited farming supplies from this, then go for it. My counter argument for taking Overgrown or Pocket Kingdom, if you are a raider and you're worried about getting those supplies, look at the Tob loot table and look at Chambers loot table. Like there's so many herbs on those loot tables. You can get herbs and secondaries from all kinds of stuff. If you're really that worried about it, take Friendly Forager and you'll get unlimited herbs. And then there's no reason to take Friendly Forager and Overgrown. It seems like a waste. Or there's no reason to take Friendly Forager and Pocket Kingdom. It seems like a waste. If you have Power Miner or Animal Wrangler, then this is a waste also. For Lumberjack, you're going to be chopping a lot of logs per hour anyways, so you don't need to really worry about things like that. And then the last tier, there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. This last stand has the potential to be the most fun. Specialist is just you're specking constantly, and this could be the highest DPS in the game by far. And then Guardian, you just click the thing and you ignore it for 30 minutes. One thing that was Mod Arcane said is it will instantly kill nibblers at Zuck, so that's a nice little perk. We're now going to jump into a couple of different builds. So I'll start with the PVM build. This is what I think would be a good PVM build. Now you can change any of these options here, but if you're that PVM guy who wants to do a lot of raids and wants to do a lot of end game PVM bosses and things like that, you definitely want to pick something similar to this. So a reason why I chose Power Miner over Animal Wrangler is because if you can get to 70 smithing quickly in the league, you can then use a zombie axe, and the zombie axe is so damn good for crush and for slash, and that could be an item that you use until you get your scythe, for example, or until you get a fang or anything. That's like a combat melee build item. So if you just want to do combat, then you're going to want a lot of potions. So picking Friendly Forager makes a lot of sense compared to agility. You don't care, and dodgy deals, it has a lot of bonuses, but again, Friendly Forager, just getting that passive herbs. Whenever you need some more ranners or some brews or something, you can get them, no problem. Clue Compass, out of the 3 teleports, this is the most useful for any build. It's just so good. Golden God is going to get you 99 prayer, 99 mage. It's going to give you the cash for 99 construction. It's going to give you the cash for 99 crafting, and a lot of things. So it makes the most sense to me because you're not doing... you're not going to be taking reloaded for the extra one of these tiers, and you're not going to be taking equilibrium for bonus XP. That'd be my thought here. You take Golden God. Now, Slayer Master over these two, if you just want to do PVM, you don't want to bother with clues. You don't want to bother with Production Master. You're still going to get a good amount of clues anyways from all the PVMs, so getting them more common doesn't really matter. And then Slayer Master here is so good for anything PVM. Banker's Note will let you bring in unlimited things to any of those instances like the Inferno and stuff. It makes it so easy. Again, if you're a PVM guy, you're doing raids, you can't use Total Recall in a raid. Grimoire is a no-brainer for the next tier, just because you want to get those bonus, you get the spell books and the prayers as well. And then Guardian is just very good DPS. Don't need to worry about anything. You could pick any of the 3 for the final tier here. I'm going to cough and mute my mic 1 sec. Okay. Oh. Yo, I'm powering through. Apologize for the delay. Here's your skiller guy. You know what? I forgot one thing. Slayer Master works on Echo bosses. KBD, Echo boss, is going to count as a Echo, or not as an Echo, as a Slayer task. Grotesque Guardians counts as that. You can't get a Soul Heritage task, I don't think, so that's not going to count there, but KQ will be on task as well, so big if you're doing PVM, like no brainer. Going for the skiller guy, this is the most balanced skilling I could think of. So Animal Wrangler helps with both hunter and fishing, as well as cooking and some other things. You could use any of these 3 if you want, but this one, like Lumberjack, really speeds up 1 skill. Power Miner speeds up 2 skills. This skill speeds up 2, smithing and mining. This speeds up wood cutting and either fletching or fire making, but fletching and fire making are so fast anyways. And then Animal Wrangler, it speeds up your fishing, which is AFKable, but also hunter and also cooking. So that's a 3 compared to 2 for each of these. Dodgy Deals has so many points and so many things that you can do with it. You can steal from master farmers for seeds for your skilling route and stuff like that. Clue Compass, you can replace that with Fairy Slider, Banker's Heist. It's just preference, but Clue Compass has the most teleports to things. Like there's a teleport directly to a bank with Clue Compass, so this is useless right away. Equilibrium makes a lot of sense for this tier. You could switch for Reloaded if you wanted to pick another one of these 4 that you didn't take, but Equilibrium for skilling. If you want to get a max cape, then that's what you can go with. Production Master for sure if you're a skiller. Banker's Note If you don't take lumberjack and you're chopping teaks or something like that, you can just quickly note them. Same thing if you're power mining iron, you can just quickly note them, no problem. And then when you're at the bank, you can smith all of your iron with Production Master instantly. So a lot of synergy between going that route. Pocket Kingdom, it's between this or Overgrown, really. I don't think it'll matter too much. The Pocket Kingdom will give you the resources from Lumberjack and Power Miner that you're not getting. And it's just passive and it just gives you a lot of that stuff. So it's between this or Overgrown. You make your choice. I decide Pocket Kingdom because it's cool. And then the last tier for this, if you are a skiller, then take Last Stand. It gives you a second life, and you don't need to worry about dying at any PVM stuff that you end up doing. And then for our balanced guy, you can do anything with this, but this was what I thought would be a really balanced, fun way of doing a mixture of skilling and PVM. You take Animal Wrangler first, you do all of your fishing and whatever tasks. You then take Dodgy Deals for a lot of the thieving and different things like that. Clue Compass once again. And then Reloaded, you're going to go back and you're going to take Power Miner. So you've got all of your skilling sorted out here. By taking Banker's Note, you can chop teaks and note them, no problem. And while you're doing that, you're going to get all of your wood cutting and fletching and fire making tasks done, as well as all of those forestry tasks that everyone's super stoked for. Drop a comment if you hate forestry. Yeah, do that. And then Treasure Arbiter is good because as you're doing your skilling, you're going to get a lot of clues. And also PVM, you're going to get a lot of clues. So just makes sense for that. The Grimoire for here, when you're going for balance, I think the Grimoire just makes sense. It gives you a lot of PVM buffs that you can get, whereas you've gone pretty heavy on the skilling so far. And then I picked Last Stand. I don't think if you're a chilled balance guy that's AFK kind of PVMer kind of stuff like that, Specialist is a lot of clicking. You're clicking every 2 ticks to spec. If you have like a blowpipe and you're specking, you have to click every tick. You're like click, 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 like constantly, and then you're worried about your spec coming back and things like that. I mean, absolutely take it if you think it's going to be awesome, but it's a lot of actions per minute. So this is just more of like an overall balance kind of thing. Yeah, I'm curious to hear. What do you guys think? Are you going to follow any of these 3? Or are you going to be pretty close on one of them and not sure? If you're going to do exactly what I do, but maybe you're pretty close, I don't know. What else? What else do we need to talk about? I had some other notes here. So there's no requirements for echo drops. So that's kind of cool. We're going to look at the FAQ, Detailed Leagues FAQ. There's some things on here that I recommend you read through. As you can see, it's just on the RuneScape homepage and click there. Nothing new today so far. So does Overgrown give Hespori seeds? No, it does not. Wow, that's important info that you wouldn't have had otherwise. Yeah, so nothing new in the FAQ. Figured I'd check that just before ending the video, but overall, this is pretty exciting. It's happening, guys. It is happening. Again, like the video, comment if you if you feel like it. Thanks for being here while I'm sick. It has been a good time. And at the end of the day, it's night.